Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about how to get over heartbreak and rejection. So to start off the video, let's talk about heartbreak and rejection. What is that? So heartbreak is basically when you're with somebody, right, and you develop an emotional connection, you feel love for that person. You can't stop thinking about them. Part of your self-identity belongs with that person. So you're not fully you anymore. A lot of your self-identity is with them, and a lot of their self-identity is with you. So you start to identify with that person, right? So that could be, you're thinking about them 50% of the day, as opposed to when you were single, you're just completely focused on you and you're back to kind of like who you are, right? So what happens is when you leave, or when that person leaves, right, and they break up, there's a feeling of abandonment and loss, right? That's what a fear of loss is, right? And this is also attributed to money as well, right? Let's say you lost your job. That's a fear of loss as well, right? Like you lost your job and you're scared and you're thinking about what you're gonna do, right? All of this is tied down to fear, right? Abandonment, etc. Feelings of not having anything, feeling alone, loneliness. That's what it really comes down to, feeling alone, right? So when you experience heartbreak or rejection, so what is rejection? We talked about heartbreak. Rejection is basically when you ask someone out, like a girl, right? Let's say you get her phone number, then you text her the next day, hey, when are you free? Let's say she doesn't respond. Okay, now you feel rejected, you feel abandoned, you feel let down, disappointed, right? So a lot of what you have to understand is you can't control what other people do, regardless of how much you think they are loyal to you, right? You can't control how people feel, right? What they do, if they cheat, if they don't. You have to be able to live with the results regardless of what happens. So if she leaves you, or she doesn't respond to you, or she cheats on you, whatever, all of this, you have to understand that you cannot control other people. You can only control your reaction to them. You can only control how you respond to it, right? And I'm gonna tell you guys how to respond. So if you experience heartbreak, or you get rejected, or someone does you wrong, she cheats on you, whatever, here's what you do. It's gonna hurt. First off, you're gonna experience pain. You're gonna experience sadness, anger, frustration. You're gonna think back to how good life was. What am I gonna do? You may experience anger towards the individual. Like you may think, man, fuck that bitch, da da da, right? You know what I'm talking about? So all of these thoughts and emotions are gonna arise when that situation occurs, right? And what you have to understand is that you're going to go through these emotions. Every single person, every single woman, man, whoever who experiences heartbreak goes through these emotions, right? And depending on the individual's level of development, consciousness, awareness, it can last up to a week, a month, a year, 2 years, your whole life. But what you have to understand is that life is fleeting. Every single thing in this world is dust. I'm dust, you're dust. This phone is dust, right? This TV, this computer I'm looking at is dust. This house is dust. The girl you dated will turn to dust, right? So everything is fleeting. Food turns into dust. Everything is fleeting. Everything eventually decomposes and goes back into the earth. So you have to understand that life is always moving forward, and we're all going to die. Everything ends, right? And I'm not trying to sound gloomy. I'm trying to give you perspective, because when you understand that life is fleeting, you move forward with a sense of, all right, it's okay. Life is not, there's nothing to hold on to. You can try to hold on as long as you want. You can try to get her back as hard as you want. You can try to change her mind as hard as you want. But at the end of the day, the relationship is over, right? And that's the hardest part, is accepting that it's over. And what happens is, what you have to understand is that you can either let the emotions flow, or you can be so emotional that you start to lash out. And that's what happens. That's the issue when you start to lash out. Don't lash out, right? Because what you resist persists. So if you continue to lash out, those emotions keep occurring and you start thinking about it more. Now it grows, now it grows. Now over time, you start becoming real resentful of the individual. You're wasting your time because the relationship is over, right? So you have to understand that you must go through the emotions, and you must not lash out at the individual or dwell on the situation, right? You have to move forward. Life is fleeting. Nothing ever stays the same. Life is always changing, whether we realize it or not. The trees are changing. The seasons are changing, right? You can't hold on to anything. You can try to hold on as hard as you want. Life will move you forward regardless. It's a question of how long do you want to suffer for? Do you want to suffer for a week, a month, a year, 5 years, the rest of your life? I know people, I've talked to people that literally self-medicate to this day because of a breakup, or they get overweight because of a divorce or something like that, right? And it's like, you guys gotta look and be like, man, it's not all that. You're gonna let your whole life go to shit because of one person? Come on, man. Come on. You're better than that, right? You're better than that. So that's key. You have to understand that life is fleeting. Every single thing is fleeting, right? So moving on. Now that we've gone through the emotions, we're past kind of like the whole emotional side of it, of the breakup. Now we're back to ourselves. We know who we are, right? What do we do moving forward? You can use that sadness and that anger that you have, right? And transmute it. Energy is neither created nor destroyed, right? So you have to use your energy, that sadness and that anger, to better yourself, right? If you're angry, what are you gonna do? Are you going to lash out against the girl, or are you gonna channel that energy into something positive? Maybe you start going to the gym more. Maybe you start cooking. Maybe you start learning a skill, learning a language. Maybe you start working more hours. Maybe you go back to university. Maybe you start networking, right? Maybe whatever. You do something. You transmute your energy. You don't sit there and stagnate and dwell, right? That's the worst thing you can possibly do. So it's tough. The moral of the story is that it's gonna be painful, but no human being goes through this existence without suffering and pain. So you're bound to it. You're here, right? You're going to suffer. You can either kill yourself and end it, or suffer through it and overcome it and become a champion, right? What do you want to do? It's your choice. You can dwell on it for years, for months, and self-sabotage, self-medicate like everyone else, or you can let the emotions come through, understand that it's okay. There's other girls, there's other guys, right? And look to be better. Improve yourself. Improve your understanding. Maybe you weren't the best boyfriend. Maybe you weren't the best girlfriend. Maybe you weren't that communicative. Maybe you weren't that loving, right? Sometimes it's not even the other person. Maybe you weren't the best you could be, right? So you have to move forward with a new sense of self, a new understanding. Look at the situation, look at maybe I could have been more loving. Maybe I could have been more communicative, right? Maybe I was angry a lot of the time, right? So these are all things you have to reflect on and move forward with. Move forward with a new awareness about how you're gonna go into the next relationship, right? So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I hope you guys have a good one. Peace.